Stephen Kennedy with Steve's Snaketuary. What we do is we rescue snakes out of homes and businesses. We take in pets that people can't take care of anymore. And we also do educational presentations. We go out to different schools, libraries. We have homeschool groups come over all the time. We're really big about education. We like to eliminate fear through education. We like to bring peace through rescue. That's our mission statement here at Steve's Snaketuary. I've been into snakes since I was real little. Of course, my parents hated it, but once I got married, my wife was real supportive. She let me get a little corn snake as a pet, and that turned to 2, 2 to 4, 4 to 8, and so on and so on. And one thing turned to another. And then it eventually just turned into a business. People started finding out that I was into snakes. They would tell me all the horror stories about them killing them while they were going hunting and things like that, or if they saw one in their yard. So I used to tell people, hey, you know, instead of killing them, give me a call, I'll come get it for you. And then just like I said, one thing led to another. I'm also a firefighter in advanced EMT, so I was able to hook up with 911. So a lot of dispatches got my information. I was able to hook up with the Caddo Parish Animal Control. So a lot of times they call me out for all the snake calls. I also have all my permits through Caddo Parish Animal Control and through Wildlife and Fisheries to be able to keep everything that I have. That includes all of the constrictors and also all the venomous snakes. We have venomous snakes here too. So that's one thing we do, like I said, is education. We're real big on education and let everybody know how beneficial and beautiful these snakes can be. This is one of the local snakes that we have here in Louisiana. This is a rat snake. These guys can be grays, browns, blacks. This one has a lot of red and yellow in between its scales. Sometimes they have a little white in between their scales. A lot of people get these confused with the venomous water moccasins, but these guys are non-venomous. Some really interesting facts about these guys. The way that their stomach muscles and scales are, it allows them to climb up walls. So a lot of times when I get calls, people call me for a snake in their house. They may find one in their attic or above their doorway. I know for a fact it's going to be one of these rat snakes because the way these guys are, they can climb walls. And they can climb walls and trees because they'll get up in the trees, or if somebody has a bird's nest in the corner of their house, they'll get up there and they'll eat those birds also. Now, one thing I want to talk about with these guys, a lot of people say that you can tell if it's a venomous snake by the head shape, because if it's got a triangle or a diamond shaped head, it's venomous. Now, these guys can flatten their heads out into a diamond or a triangle shape to mimic venomous snakes. And so you can't always go by the head shape. Another crazy thing about these guys is they don't have rattles, but they will rattle their tails against leaves and dead grass to sound like a rattlesnake. So I've had people call me because they think they have a rattlesnake in their attic or in their chimney, and I get out there and it's one of these guys and it's just rattling his tail. So, but this is a non-venomous rat snake, and these are very common here. I get a lot of calls about these all the time, and a lot of people find these in their yards. It's a very common snake here in Louisiana. This is another very common snake that we have here in Louisiana that a lot of people get confused with water moccasins. This is a plain belly or yellow belly water snake. These guys, just like the rat snakes, these guys can flatten their heads out into that diamond or triangle shape. And so they can mimic venomous snakes. And these guys they stay around water a lot. They eat fish and frogs. That's why a lot of people get these guys confused with water moccasins. They do give off a musk. So sometimes it's, just kind of like a skunk. They give off a musk to try to scare their predators away. And these guys are notorious for pooping. They like to poop on people, because then when they get scared, they just try to do that as a defense, is all they try to do. And these guys have keeled scales, K-E-E-L-E-D. Their scales are really rough and raised up, and that helps them, since they're water snakes, it helps them go through the water since they eat fish and frogs. It helps them swim a lot faster and keep up with those fish and frogs so they can catch up with those. But this is another very common snake that we have in Louisiana. Now, one thing I did want to mention too is a lot of people think that venomous snakes have cat-slit pupils. Now, the water moccasins, the copperheads, and the rattlesnakes that we have do have a cat-slit pupil, but in a low light situation, if it gets kind of dark, their eyes will dilate just like people's eyes. So it may not look like a cat slit, it may look round. And we also have coral snakes here, and coral snakes are highly venomous, and they also have round pupils. So you can't go by the pupils. And one thing that I like to tell people is I never want anybody to grab a snake and look at it this close to look at its pupils. I never want anybody to do that. I don't want anybody to get hurt. We're all about safety. And I always teach kids too when I do my presentations, just because I let you hold a snake or pet a snake does not mean I want you to go grab one if you find one in your yard. If you ever see one, you need to call a professional like Steve's Snaketuary to come get that out of your yard for you so nobody gets hurt. Now, a few things I did want to mention also is that if you find a snake in your yard, you need to call a professional like Steve's Snaketuary to come get that snake, because I don't want anybody getting hurt by trying to catch a snake. That's how most people get hurt, is when they start messing with a snake. I did also want to tell everybody, There's nothing that you can put out in your yard that's going to keep snakes away. The lime, sulfur, mothballs, even the snake away and snake begone stuff does nothing for snakes. No, absolutely nothing. Plus all that stuff has a chemical in there called naphthalene, which is a carcinogen. It can actually make people real sick for breathing that stuff in. So you go put all that stuff around your house, you're not doing anything to keep the snakes away, and plus you're putting yourself in danger. I've been out to hundreds of houses and people have had that stuff everywhere and they still have snake problems. So don't put any of that out. Don't waste your money on that stuff. One thing that we also have is we have our own signature hot sauces at Steve's Snakesuary. What we did was we tailored the heat levels and the flavors to the types of snakes. We've got 6 different flavors, and like I said, we tailored those heat levels and those flavors to the types of snakes. And the sales of our hot sauce actually help take care of all the reptiles that we have here at the Snakesuary. So if anybody needs any more information about snakes, if you have questions about snakes, concerns, or if you need me to come out and get a snake, or if you have a pet snake that you need to get rid of, you can't take care of anymore, you can always contact us at Steve's Snakesuary. You can check out our website at snakesuary.com. That's SNAKETUARY.com. You can call us at 318-525-6241, or you can text us. And then you can also email us at info@snakesuary.com. All of our social media is listed on our website at snakesuary.com. We're all over everywhere. We got Facebook, YouTube, we got TikTok, we got Instagram. We're everywhere, so we're very easy to find. So if you ever have any questions or concerns, feel free to contact us.